Who's going to start with the first Trent question?
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Sorry, but what did you make of Trent? I'd rather ask you about the game, but as you said about Trent, what did you make about it?
No, I said to everyone that asked me that question, that it's a privilege to live in Europe where everybody can have his own opinion and everybody can express his own opinion. And that is something that we saw today as well. So a few of them were not happy with him. I think all of them were not happy with him leaving the club, but a few of them showed it in a way that they booed him and a few of them clapped. And the only thing I can say about it is that I owe it to the players and to the club and to the staff, for everyone that works so hard for us to win a game of football, to try to do that. And if we are after 70 minutes 2-2, Connor can't continue and I have a world-class fullback on the bench, I bring him in, and I think it's a big compliment for him, because you can understand how mixed the emotions were in his head probably as well. That you bring in a performance like that tells you why everybody thinks he's a world-class fullback, because with him we were quite close to winning this game, and that's what I owe to the players in the dressing room that work so hard every single day to make decisions to try to win the game.
Do you feel sorry for him on a personal level? Because you clearly worked with him for so many months. He's been outstanding for you, for this club. You know, it must be difficult for Trent right now.
It's definitely difficult for him, because I think he said himself how difficult it was to leave this football club. And that is something that is important for us to hear as well, because we have to make it as difficult as possible. And fortunately for us, many stay, like Virgil and Mo. Trent made the decision to go, but yeah, it is the way you want to look at it. I don't know, I haven't asked him, but maybe he's positively surprised how the reactions were today. I don't know, because I haven't spoken to him, but it was clear that they were mixed reactions, so it wasn't all negative. And as it went onwards, the moment he had to take a free kick, everybody was cheering for him to score, and he was close. So I'm not even sure if he has negative feelings about today. Maybe, but again, haven't spoken to him. It's not even that negative as you suppose think it is.
Arne, do you not feel though that it was a bit of a distraction to the performance though when he entered the pitch? And maybe the rest of the team were distracted by what was going on?
No, that's what I'm glad you asked this question, because that was the positive thing about it. I think the moment he entered the pitch, I think 3 or 4 minutes later, also after we've made the substitution to bring an extra attacker in to try to, even though we were not in the best part of our game, but we did brought Diogo Jota in to play up front together with Darwin Núñez, and from that moment on we took the game, because immediately it was the yellow card as a result of the red card. So I didn't feel any distraction. That was something I have to give him credit for, but also the team. I think in the last 15 to 20 minutes were the best 15 to 20 minutes of the second half. But that wasn't that difficult after the first 20.
But Arne, he said it was a few, it was more than a few, they moved his every touch when he came on. That must be very hard for him to take.
Yeah, but there were also more than a few that clapped for him. So the word few, yeah, you can maybe, I don't know, I couldn't count them, but was it half-half? Was it 60-40? I have no clue.
More to begin with.
Yeah, in 60 in positive and 40 negative, or the opposite?
More negative.
Okay.
When he touched the ball for the first time.
Yeah, but I think if you clap, it's not as loud as if you boo. But I didn't count the amount of people that were booing and the ones that clapped for him. But like I said, they have the right to express their opinion. I think the first thing they did is give credit to Steven Gerrard one more time for the player he's been for this club. Then they sung for Conor Bradley, who deserved that completely, because he played great, 60, 70 minutes long. Although we had to block the cross with the 2-1, but that I will tell him this week. But he played really well, and then afterwards, yeah, if you tell me it was 60-40, 50-50, 40, I don't know, but what I do know is clapping is not as loud as booing.
Can I just ask you about the next time you're here will be the trophy presentation. Do you have to give serious consideration to whether Trent's involved in that game? Because, you know, booing in any shape or form will take the edge off that, won't it?
I don't think there's any possibility, whatever can happen, that can take the edge of us winning this league, the 20th league title. I was here 2 weeks ago, and there's nothing. Yeah, maybe there can happen a few things, but those things will be much worse than what we are talking about. That can take the edge of us winning the league title. But then we have to think of things that I don't want to think about.
You wouldn't consider leaving him out for the whole game, not in the match day split?
The thing I consider is I want to win a game of football, and if I think we can win this one with Trent, I owe it to his teammates, to the fans, because they hired me to win as much games of football as possible. And if I think there's a better chance of winning it with Trent, I will. If I think, which I don't think, it's a distraction or whatever can happen for us not to play a good game of football, then I might make another decision. But I think Trent showed today why I brought him in, because he was very close with a few fantastic crosses for us to win the game.
Aside from Trent, what did you make of the performance in the game today?
Unfortunately, we had 15 to 20 minutes where we played with the same intensity, and it's not completely bad, but I miss a little bit, and that were the first 15 to 20 minutes in the second half, which were similar to what we saw last week, where we played really good with the ball, came in so many promising positions, but in the final third we weren't that decisive, and defending last week was, the few goals we conceded was, let's put it positive, not so good. And that I saw in the first 15 minutes after half time, but the first half was great, and I think all over, this is why people like the Premier League so much. Two great teams that are competing with each other in a fantastic game of football. Both teams showing so much quality, and 4 goals, 2-2. Both teams could have won it in the end. This is what makes the Premier League so special, and this is also what we have to try as managers, not only to win games, but also make sure the fans like what they see.